All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a couple of real people out there, just like you and just like me. Just clearing the air right off the top here. Ozzy Osbourne is still alive. Just want to put it out there. There's this internet hoax. I've seen the RIP videos, and I don't know. This is where things get a little dicey. I'm not saying you ban speech, but if it's demonstrably false and the person you're saying is dead comes forth and says, "No, I'm not dead," then at that point, I think it's up to responsible people to deal with those people who are kind of right on the edge, apparently, of saying certain things. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of that, if you want some great melodic guitar, if you want to hear somebody shredding, Torben Enevoldsen, who has played in the band Pinnacle Point, I believe on both of their albums, he shows up and he is fantastic. Also, a band called Acacia Avenue and another band called Fate. All right. So he's got a lot of stuff going on out there. Either one of these albums, the debut or his latest work called Transition, put him in while you're driving the car. Just watch the speedometer at that point. Just great guitar work and almost fun to listen to, bordering on classical and surf music and just different things that he's tapped into. And you can get these through a great record label out of Texas called Paris, Perris. Go to paris.com. I believe those CDs are still around. Hopefully, you can purchase a copy. And if not, yes, you can stream the music. I'm sure most people will be pursuing that with their Spotify membership, which I don't want to get into Spotify again, but a lot of people just doing it that way. So Ozzy Osbourne, he's still alive. He's upset because he says, "I'm not dead." So the Osbournes do a podcast, which I wasn't really aware, but the latest episode of the Osbournes podcast where Ozzy says, "I'm not going any bleeping where." All right, I'm filtering here. And I'm going to go up and do some more gigs before I'm finished anyway. So Ozzy has been threatening to get out there on the road again. I messaged Eric Clapton a long time ago when Ozzy's album came out. And I said, "Hey, you worked on Ozzy's album?" And he's like, "Yeah, Ozzy's a good guy." That's what he said to me. Ozzy's a good guy. So Eric Clapton likes Ozzy. Just putting it out there in case people want to know about that. It's a little inside info. And I'm sure Eric doesn't mind me saying that. It is kind of a strange combination, although I think they're both sort of from the same neck of the woods out there in the UK, but I might be wrong. But yeah, pretty much came up through the ranks together, just slightly different styles of music in some ways. Anyway, Ozzy went on to say that he's not finished. He was a little bit caught off guard by this video, which is circulating online. The thing on YouTube, it's got celebrities who have died today, and there's a picture of me, the Prince of Darkness. And I go, "I'm not dead. I'm not really dead, just a little flesh wound," as he's quoting Monty Python, which I think is pretty funny. Ozzy went on to note that the clickbait video was strategically phrased to avoid any potential lawsuits. So apparently they had legal look into what they could do about it, and legal found out that they couldn't do anything about it, which again, it's up to the company itself in this case. I'm not for any kind of censorship, but here is the problem. When you're just putting out blatant falsehoods, and this applies to everything and everybody in the media, and the falsehoods can be proven. You can demonstrate how false they are. In this case, it's pretty easy. You're claiming that Ozzy is dead. Ozzy is raising his hand and he's saying, "No, I'm not dead. I'm Ozzy Osbourne. Here is my driver's license. Here is my," well, he might have a social security number. I don't know, because I think he lives part-time here in the States, or he used to. I think he finally just moved back to the UK. But I'm sure he's got some kind of paperwork that proves he is the Prince of Darkness. So all you have to do is flash your badge in front of the social media platform and say, hey, at least take this down, right? In that case, I'm kind of in favor of that. If you're speculating and saying, you know, Ozzy, I haven't seen him in a long time. There's a good chance that something is wrong with Ozzy and he might be dead, right? And he doesn't come forth and say, no, I'm fine. Now, that's different. And I think people have the right to do that, especially if there isn't a lot of information coming out. We've had a lot of sudden and unexpected passings in the year 2023, and people never come forward to explain what happened. They just say, person died at age 50, nothing to see here, natural causes, they lived a good life, and we're going to really miss him. And that's about it. So, yeah, I think people have every right to pry into that to protect other people from a similar fate. So anyway, he can't sue. So he explains what they're doing. He says what they do is they kind of say you're dead-ish, he explained. It's kind of a weird way they word it. He says there are so many sick bleepers out there. By the way, that word starts with an F and ends with K-E-R-S, just in case you wanted to know what the word was. And that's actually Sharon pointing this out. Meanwhile, Ozzy's son, Jack, offered a suggestion. He says, we'll do the Viking burial, he quipped. I'll shoot a flaming arrow on your raft. I don't know if he's talking about his dad or he's talking about the person who put up the video. Ozzy, of course, has had some health issues recently. He's endured various operations to deal with injuries, suffered from a quad bike accident and later a serious fall in his home. The lingering effects of these injuries caused Ozzy to cancel his farewell tour, as well as a scheduled performance at this year's Power Trip Festival. And he also has this little battle with Parkinson's. And many fans believe that Ozzy will never take the stage again. Still, the rocker remains defiant, of course. He wouldn't be Ozzy if he wasn't defiant. He says, I'm getting myself fit, the singer declared back in September. I've done 2 albums fairly recently, but I want to do one more album and then go back on the road. So, yeah, I think he's totally serious about that. I don't know if that will ever happen, but good for him for just keeping the faith. And Ozzy Osbourne, quite a character. And again, Eric Clapton, a big fan. That's why he agreed to play on Ozzy's last album, which I think is great. All right, here's a guy who can play as well. Some real melodic guitar. If you like, say, Joe Satriani, you might enjoy a little Torben Enevoldsen. Not the easiest name to say. I practice it each day when I wake up in the morning. Enevoldsen, see how I did that? It just has to flow. Don't try to sound it out because then you won't get anywhere with that. Also, folks, I'm getting destroyed again by the algorithm. I guess I should just do some fake videos about people who have not died, but I don't do that for the most part. So if you can help me out via YouTube memberships or by Patreon, we're getting close to a new year. And some people may have a resolution to spend less in the new year. I need you to think about maybe $1 a month if you like the content here. Seriously, $1, $2, whatever you can afford. I've got some patrons that keep this thing going. That's all I can say. I've got one person who's incredibly generous and ridiculous in their generosity, and I really appreciate them. But I need a few more people to step up and help out. So again, melodic rock in 2024, I'm going to be your guy. I am going to keep you up to date. I'm going to scour the internet, and I'm going to purchase CDs to display in videos, much like I did here. Although this particular CD, the record label actually sent me. So kudos to them. That's Paris Records down in Texas. Just a great record label. Tom, who runs the store and runs the place, does a great job. So say hi to Tom. Tell him the Real Music Observer sent you over. And don't forget to pray for peace around the world and in the Middle East in particular, and peace in your heart as we get closer to 2024, an election year in the United States of America, where pretty much we're guaranteed that all hell is going to break loose.